Greetings, everybody. It's Pat Hand at Dancing Moon Travel, and I'm so glad to see our friends back and joining us this evening. We so appreciate you. We are very excited this evening. And by the way, if you're catching us on an instant replay, we welcome you as well. We're so glad you are able to join us as well. We are so happy this evening to be bringing on, our whole emphasis for the month of May is on domestic travel. And we're really happy this evening to be showcasing a newer provider, probably for many of you. We are bringing on Cindy Kristen, and Cindy is the Business Development Executive for American Cruise Lines. And welcome, Cindy. I really do suspect that you may be a new brand for some of our regular listeners. So we're really happy to be able to maybe introduce them to some a provider they need to know about, because you guys, we know, offer an amazing domestic cruise experience right here in the good old USA.
That's right. We sure do. We've got lots of itineraries, over 35 itineraries.
That is, you guys have an amazing product. Let's just start off with could you tell us how you got started in the travel business and made your way to American Cruise Lines?
Okay. Well, I've actually been in the business over 35 years, and I started as a travel advisor, and then I grew up in the Midwest in St. Louis area. So I went to work for TWA. I don't know, many people remember TWA. It was a great airline that flew all around the world. And I worked for them for many years. And then I worked for another airline after that. And then I got into the cruise side of the industry. And I worked for some of the big ship cruises. And then I've always liked really unique niche products. So I started working for one of the major river cruise lines in Europe. And I was there over 10 years, and then went to an expedition company for a couple years, and then now have been here at American Cruise Lines for the last 3 years, because my heart is really into river cruising. I think it's just the best way to see these destinations. So that's how I ended up here.
I love the river cruise experience. And Cindy, do you ever get a chance to sample the wares? Do you ever get a chance to get out on the river yourself?
Well, I have certainly a lot in Europe. In the USA, I have done a few of them, and I'd love to do more of them. But it's, just time constraints and actually availability on the ships. But I've absolutely enjoyed the ones that I've done, because I think that people so underestimate what we have to see here in the United States. And we have so much history and culture and beautiful sights, and people come from all around the world to see our history and experience. So every one of them, every single itinerary we do is fabulous, and they're all different, and you learn so much from every single one of them. So my answer is that, yes, I would love to do more. I've only done a few of them, and I'm hoping to do more as the year progresses here.
That's wonderful. And, we never get too much when we're traveling. I know it's wonderful. When it comes to American Cruise Lines, I know we're going to be focusing on your itineraries for the Northwest for most of our broadcasts, but what are some of the other destinations that you guys serve?
Okay, well, anywhere that's navigable in the U.S., we're there. So our major itineraries are going to be the Mississippi, which we have 9 different itineraries. We do the entire Mississippi. You can start in New Orleans and work all the way up to Minneapolis. We do the lower and the upper. So the lower would be from Memphis to New Orleans, or reverse, or round trip New Orleans, or the upper from St. Louis to Minneapolis. We do the tributary, St. Louis to Pittsburgh, and that's on the Ohio, and on the Cumberland from St. Louis to Nashville. And then, of course, we do the beautiful Columbian Snake. And then we have all this coastal product that is very unique to us, which we have these small, beautiful little coastal cruisers that range in size from 100 guests up to 170. And they go all along down the eastern coast. So we'll do the New England, the Maine coast, the Hudson in the fall. We do also the Chesapeake Bay. And then we do some really beautiful little itineraries, round trip Florida from Jacksonville, our Great Rivers of Florida. Or we'll do the historic South and Golden Isles from Jacksonville to Charleston, or our East Coast Inland Passage all the way on up to Baltimore. We even do an itinerary that is the American Revolution, a 10-night out of Baltimore. And we have a new one this year called the Cape Codder, which is round trip out of Boston. And then we have also out on the west and Pacific Northwest, we've got the Puget Sound and San Juan Islands. So we've got a lot.
Wow, you really do cover most every part of the U.S. That is good to know. People can actually start sailing with American Cruise Lines and have a lot of territory to cover before they've gone through everything. That is wonderful. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit? What is the target demographic? Who is the passenger that's going to feel like they've come home when they get on an American Cruise Line sailing?
Okay, well, everyone feels like they're at home because, our ships are all built here. They're all U.S. flagged and they're 100% U.S. crewed. So when you step on board, you're going to get a truly all-American experience. And so our demographics are 65 plus, well-traveled. They've probably traveled to Europe, done river cruises in Europe. They're well-educated. They have money. They have time. They want to stay close to home. And most of all, they haven't seen their own country. And there's a lot of us in that category because myself, we always tend to go further when we're more mobile. We stay closer to home. But that really is changing because what's happening is, especially after this last year, people are exploring their own country by RV or other types of ways of seeing the country. But this is a simple way to see it, very easy. And a lot of people really didn't realize they can see the United States by cruising. So they also like the peace of mind that they're close to home. But it is changing because what's happening is, we're bringing on all these new types of shore excursions. They're more adventurous. We've got segways and kayaking and rafting and schooner sailing and hiking and biking. And so little by little, the demographics are coming down a bit, but still there's something that's, the demographic is growing in range, this age range.
That is good. So just because someone is under 60 doesn't mean that you're not going to have a lot of good things to offer them on American Cruise Line.
Oh, we have lots. We have so much history and culture and all kinds of fun things in it. They could be as adventurous as they want. They can be as active as they want. We've just tried to find the best things, the most important things for you to see in all of these destinations.
That's great to know. I just think that, for anybody who hasn't yet experienced a river cruise, it is such an amazing way to travel, and being able to do it here in the USA, I think is amazing. Cindy, I know that cruise lines just vary a great deal on what's included, what they offer. Could you kind of give us an overview of what's provided in a typical package with American Cruise Lines?
Sure. Okay, so basically on the rivers, on the Mississippi and the Columbia and Snake and the Ohio Cumberland, we do include a featured tour every day. These are escorted tours by local guides. In addition, we include beer and wine at lunch and dinner. We have a cocktail party every evening that runs through the end of the evening. We also include gratuities as well. And of course, we have entertainment on board. So that's on the river programs. On the coastal, we do include some featured tours, but not every day. So some of them are what we call premium tours, and they run $20 to $70. And we offer those for our guests if they'd like to do additional activities during the day. And then we have some of our signature tours. These are like one-off tours. These are like a jet boat tour through Hell's Canyon, a behind the scene at the Boonville Dam, the Pendleton experience, which is one of them on the Columbia and Snake. Or we have actually charter fishing in Alaska. that you can do on a
Wow.
small charter boat with five. So those are some of the things that, if you want to do some really off the beat things, you can do some of those on our signature experiences.
So people can still, even though there's a great deal included, there's still some customization that people can do. So that's great. Um, I know
Yes.
this evening we want to kind of hone in and focus on those fabulous itineraries for the greater Northwest out there, the Columbia and Snake Rivers. And I know you have three fabulous itineraries for that part of the country. Could you give us just a little bit of an overview of the options and a bit about the ports and passenger experience that people might have?
Sure. So what you're speaking about is our beautiful Columbia and Snake River programs. And of course, this area is known for the Lewis and Clark journey. So you're absolutely going to hear a lot about that from our historian on board. That's all part of the experience because we always have a historian or lecturers on board. So it's a very cultural experience. So you'll hear about that. Another area out there is the winery in the Columbia Wine Valley. So you're absolutely going to go to the Mary Hill Winery while you're out there and visit that. You're going to hear from the lecturers and so forth, and the winery, see it made, and the history of the winery and that kind of thing. Now, I will tell you that we do have theme cruises on that we do Lewis and Clark specially themed or the culinary and wine themed. But what's fun thing is cruising along the scenery changes all along the way. It's just absolutely breathtaking. So throughout the journey on the Columbian Snake, you're going to transit 8 locks, and it's going to lift the ship more than 700 feet vertically. So the dam itself, the Boonville Dam, is quite impressive to see overall, and you can get an experience to go see the Boonville Dam. Another great feature on this itinerary is the Multnomah Falls, which is the second tallest year-round waterfall in the United States. And you can walk the famous Benson Bridge. You can take wonderful photos there. And some of the others, like I mentioned, the Pendleton Experience, that's an underground city. And we do a
Really?
really nice barbecue there, luncheon, and you can look into the whole storied past of all the native tribes. You can visit the wood mill there and purchase authentic woven goods. And then in Clarkston, Washington, we have a signature tour there. It's called Echoes from Our Ancestors. And that's a fascinating jet boat tour right up the Snake River into Hell's Canyon. So lots of great stuff that you'll see out there on that itinerary. It's one of our most popular. And what's great is we do have 4 ships out there. So you have the choice. You can take one of our paddle wheelers. We have the American Pride, which is 150 guests, and the Queen of the West, which is only 100 guests. And the Queen of the West is the only ship that we did not build ourselves, our company. We built it, refurbished it, but we just got done doing a whole refurbishment on this ship. So I can't wait to see the pictures of the beautiful little Queen of the West. And then we have our 2 modern river boats, the American Song and the American Harmony. And these are both out there. These are our beautiful modern boats. You won't see anything like this. It's a first on the rivers in the U.S. They're 100% balconies, 170 passengers. Very spacious staterooms. They start at 250 square feet. That's for a single. They go up to 900 square feet on average,
Wow.
325.
Uh, that's a big stateroom when you're talking about any kind of a river vessel.
Yes. Well, we're an American company. So you know how we are in America. We like everything big cars, big houses. So we need big staterooms, and we have, nice hotel style bathrooms, very large. So yeah, everything's big. Everything is very spacious on board. Everyone has a balcony on these new modern boats. On the paddle wheelers, most of the staterooms are also balcony as well. So they're both a great experience. The difference is that one is a modern river boat, and the paddle wheelers take you back in time. They're very nostalgic. They have a Victorian accent to them, so they still have a following. And you're going to learn a lot about them from the historian because they have a huge placement in our history, these paddle wheelers.
That you could actually do the same itinerary on these 2 types of ships and have It looks like a very different kind of experience each time.
Sure, sure. You're going to have
So,
a great time overall. I mean, that's what people come away. They feel so enriched by the experience because you learn so much about the history. And that's what our historians bring this to life. Like we have these themed cruises like Lewis and Clark, and they get all dressed in character and, you feel like you're in those times. So it's great.
it's fun. And you have three different itineraries that I think here. You've got this one, I think, is 11. Is this 11 nights, I think?
Yeah, that's our Northwest Pioneer. So it's very similar to the Colombian Snake, the 7 night. Just an extra stop there, a few little changes in there. Um, and
And
then
this
we
would be the
have,
7 night.
yes. And then we have a little short version. We'll run a few times of the year. It's a five day, 4 night, and it just goes round trip from Portland. So
And
you just get a taste of it. Also, I want to mention to you that we do always include a 1 night pre-hotel with
oh,
the
really?
transfer to the ship. Yeah. So so it may be a 7 night cruise, but it's really an 9 day experience.
Oh, that's lovely. That's really lovely. And it fits right in with our philosophy, which is you always get to your departure port the day before. You do not or come sailing in there and try to make a
No,
departure. We don't let our
you
clients do
can't
that.
depend on that. And our ships always leave at 1 p.m. on the dot. So you do not want to miss the boat for sure.
You do not. And Cindy, I've inquiring minds. I know our clients. Well, maybe it's just me that wants to know. But how's the food on American Cruise Lines?
Oh, well, be ready for the food. This is an area we do not skimp on whatsoever. We have lots of choices. We bring in the fresh meats, fish, fruits, vegetables every day. And we serve, of course, local fare, all kinds of different cuisine. You're going to have a lot of choices for your entrees. And what we find that is after usually the first day, people want half portions because we serve everything so big. So, and they like to try other things, but everything is absolutely delicious.
Oh, I don't know if I always think our clients want to know that. I'm pretty sure they do, but I for sure want to know because I'm always interested in when the dinner bell rings. I always want to know about it. Uh, what about solo travelers, Cindy? Are they? Do you guys make any accommodations? Are they welcomed? Are they comfortable?
Well, we sure do. In fact, we have like on our new modern boats, we have 10 single staterooms. And then we have like 6 on the paddle wheelers. So we've always had a lot of single travelers. We have single rates. Once those single staterooms are sold out, then, we do have single supplement offers that we do. But, the thing is, this is a very intimate experience on board, few number of guests. You're going to get to know everybody. So the single traveler fits right in with everybody. And of course, you're going to meet new friends and that you may want to travel with again in the future. So that's what's so nice about the river cruise experience is the intimacy of it as well.
I love it. It's so different from the experience of the big ocean vessels when you get on one of these small vessels. It's just very different. And people who think they don't like to cruise have they just need to expand their horizons and see what kind of different experiences a cruise can actually engender. Um, is there anything on the horizon in the way of new vessels or itineraries or anything new on that you guys have planned?
Yes, well, we're always doing new things. Of course, you got to keep things fresh. So we'll have our 4th new modern riverboat coming in the end of August. It's the American Melody. And I think she is going to be our flagship. She's absolutely beautiful. And we're very proud because these ships are built by our owners. They're built in Salisbury, Maryland, at our shipyard. So we have complete control over the delivery of the product. And we're really excited about the new decor and the modernization of these modern boats. And what's so great about the modern boats too is they glide along the river. They're very quiet. They're like a Porsche along the river. And they're very agile because if we don't have an actual docking platform, we can pull right into the embankment with these ships and open the mouth of the ship. And we have a bow that will come out. We can embark and disembark our guests this way. So it's a patent pending that our owners created
Wow.
for embarkation. So, if we have high water in Natchez and we have to dock across on the other side where we normally don't dock, we can pull up in the embankment, tied to a couple trees if we need to, and embark and disembark. So it's a great feature about these new modern boats. And so we
So
have
that
the American Melody in August, and we'll do the Upper Mississippi and then the Lower Mississippi at the end of the year.
that is neat. Always good to have some new vessels on the horizon to look forward to. Cindy, we've always got to touch on this in the cruise industry, river cruise or ocean going. COVID has obviously the pandemic has just played havoc with a lot of the industry. What's going on with American Cruise Lines? Are there any special protocols in place? What about the guest experience? What can you tell us about that?
Okay, so we're very proud because we were the first one back out in the water. If we can't do it here in America, where can you do it? So it's been like 9 weeks, and everything's been sailing along smoothly. We started on the historic South in Jacksonville. We started on that program. We now have operating our coastal cruises on the East Coast. We also have our Mississippi operating on the Lower Mississippi right now, several vessels. And then we started on our Colombian Snake about 2 weeks ago. So we now have that operating as well. And so right now we're full steam ahead. We do have some protocols as well. Our protocol is, first of all, if you've had the vaccine, you can show us proof that you've had the vaccine, or you'll need a negative PCR test 4 days before embarkation. We will accept either one. We have the capability to test the guests throughout the sailing, and we do have medical professional on board. So if we need anything, we also know, of course, all along the river where we can stop for any medical facilities, but we've got the testing. We can test at any time. And then we've done, of course, some sanitary things on board. Keep in mind, our ships are very spacious. There's lots of room. Everyone has their own individual air conditioning. They do not, connect from one stateroom to another. We also have some technology things that we've done, trying to do as much touchless as possible. We've got all the PPE equipment and everything. The crew has all been trained. And we're following all the guidelines. We're not under the same guidelines as the big ships with the CDC because we're under 200 guests. But right now, what we have done is we've reduced the capacity on board to 75% until the end of spring, which is just a few weeks away. And then we'll gear back up with full capacity. But we, always being cautious of whatever we need to do. Of course, there's a lot of other protocols. They're listed, of course, on our website. For more information, but we want our guests to feel completely safe and traveling with us. And so far, it's all been great. And, the guests that have been traveling with us are writing absolutely wonderful comments. They're getting on board and they're booking again and again for future cruises. So we're really pleased about that.
And Cindy, I think what I understand, and I'm getting this question so much these days, but I think from what you said, that vaccine is not required. People can present a negative PCR test to cruise. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So you are the alternative. It sounds like, from what I can glean anyway, that most of the major cruise lines, I'm going to say when and not if, when they return to sailing, are going to at least initially be requiring vaccinations. So you guys are an option for people who, for medical reasons or whatever, that it's ill-advised for them to be vaccinated. So it is good to know that. And listeners, if you fall into that category, here is an option for you to consider. You can still cruise this summer on American Cruise Line. Now, wait a minute, Cindy, I just said something before I get. How about 2021? Is there still some space available for people who might want to still book this summer?
There is, but it's becoming very, very few. Especially keep in mind those coastals, which everybody loves doing, the Maine coast and New England. Two of those ships are only 100 guests, so it's not. And there's a lot of people that want to go. So you really, if you want to go, you need to make a decision and book it, because it's here one day, it's gone the next, and that is no exaggeration. It is very filling up. And then, what we're seeing is people are booking just 3, 4, 5 weeks in advance. So they're booking close in. This is not typical of our product. Usually people are booking out a year or so in advance. So everybody's ready to go. And, they're like, wow, let's go see America and do it in this great little way on these ships. So.
And let's do it now.
Yeah, let's go. We're tired of being here.
Yeah. I think fairs, I kind of predict fairs are going to at best hold steady, and I kind of anticipate they're likely to go up, and that a dip would be very unlikely. What's your take on that?
Well, we do produce a brochure and we do put pricing in the brochure, but we revise the pricing a few times a year. So yes, we do increase prices as the ship fills up. And then, of course, if there's some days that are softer dates, we will have promotions out there, some good offers. So you can absolutely look for some of those and that might fit in. Those are typically more in the off season that you'll find that. But I say just make a decision, find one of the itineraries you like, and just book it and go, and you'll have a wonderful experience.
Okay. And, I didn't show this image earlier. I just want to pop that in here because it's just fabulous. This is Mount St. Helens, and people get an opportunity.
I don't think I mentioned that, but that is one of the things, of course, you'll see on the Columbian Snake. That's why it's such a great itinerary.
Yeah, I just wanted to pop that in there. I don't know how I missed popping that in when we were talking about itineraries. Cindy, I've got something here. I want to just plug in this quick 1-minute video that you guys have up, just to kind of give our listeners a quick glimpse of what they might expect. And hang on, folks, while I play this for you. You're going to love this.
There was a time when the West was unknown, and explorers pushed the boundaries to discover a new frontier. With American Cruise Lines, you can travel the epic route forged by Lewis and Clark, explore the breathtaking deserts and bountiful forests of the Columbia River Valley while you relax in the comfort of your private balcony. Savor the finest local cuisine as we cruise through the deepest canyon in America. Witness breathtaking landscapes, historic landmarks, and natural wonders aboard the world's finest riverboats. Only on the Columbia and Snake Rivers, and only with American Cruise Lines. Contact your travel advisor or visit AmericanCruiseLines.com. Small ship cruising, done perfectly.
Well, that doesn't make people want to book American Cruise Lines. I don't know what would. And Cindy, I think we're kind of coming to the end. I'm mindful of our time here, but I think you're running a very attractive promotion that would let listeners score some significant savings if they book, I think, by June 15th.
Well, it's a 2-week sale. And so it's a $600 per stateroom. It's a show promotion that I'm offering. So it'd be 2 weeks from the time they see this video, whenever you post it initially.
Okay.
We'll work it that way. And also, too, now you also have your group that we booked
right
September 18th of next year.
Right. Just getting ready to mention that. So, folks, if you like what you saw, we're looking at sailing on the American Song for next year, September 18th, 2022. And our guests will save that $600 per person. we're going to throw in a Dancing Moon Travel tote bag and an onboard credit. So if you would like more information about that sailing or about any sailing that we've mentioned here, Snake River, Columbia River, or any of these other itineraries, just reach out. We are delighted to help you get booked on American Cruise Line. Cindy, thank you so much for such great information you've shared with us this evening, and I think that this is going to really resonate with our listeners. Folks, if you're wanting to travel but you're not ready to go too far afield yet, you cannot do better than American Cruise Lines for travel here in the U.S. This year or 2022. So to book or for more information, just get in touch. Thank you again, Cindy. This is such great information. So appreciate your time this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. And don't forget, we've got that group, folks. So reach out. We would love to hear from you and get a quote out to you for that group. Thanks again, Cindy. So appreciate you. Bye, friends.